Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Monday, July 26th, 2021. The main fire potential impacts for this week this morning include some smoke across Idaho, western Wyoming, and northern Nevada. There's still some very dry and warm air in place across the north. But further south, moisture continues to increase, monsoonal moisture, and that will move northward on Tuesday and continue in place across the Great Basin for the remainder of the work week. Smoke for this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon is shown here. Quite a bit of smoke in place across the northern half of the Great Basin this afternoon, but by tomorrow afternoon, with some southerly flow as the high pressure builds further northward, we'll see that smoke being pushed out to the north, except for far western Idaho and northwest Nevada. The past 24 hours of precipitation and lightning show quite a bit of activity over southern Nevada, over the higher elevations of central and eastern Utah, and then right along the Sierra front. Many of these storms were accompanied by some pretty heavy precipitation, and we expect that trend to continue this week. Great Basin fire activity is shown here with the initial attack somewhat slowing down across Utah as those storms moisten up and the atmosphere is moist across the south. Large fire activity still remains over the central Idaho mountains, western Wyoming, and along the Sierra front. Observed precipitation for the past 30 days shows above normal precipitation across the south. In some areas over far southeast Nevada, those precipitation is over 600% of normal for the past 30 days, which is just fantastic. Further north and west, the situation is quite a bit drier, with below normal precipitation over northern and eastern Nevada and over the central Idaho mountains. Western Wyoming has also been very dry over the past 30 days. This leads to very high fire danger, especially over western Wyoming and Idaho and northwest Nevada. These are the areas we're definitely concerned about for any new large fires over the next couple of days before the fuels moisten up too much. Further south, fire danger is quite a bit lower. Taking a closer look at a couple of our northern PSAs over the western Idaho mountains, those values are setting right at the historical records for the time of year with this very hot and dry air mass in place. And then also further east over western Wyoming, same story, those values are very high right at the historical records. This morning's satellite imagery shows that the high pressure center moving further northward, allowing moisture to move northward back into the southern and central Great Basin today. We do have some moisture wrapping around along the western periphery for an increase in thunderstorm activity over far western Nevada today as well. So again, by this afternoon, still dry across the north, quite a bit of moisture in place across the south and wrapping around a little bit over western Nevada. We do have high risk for an increase in thunderstorms there along the Sierra front. So a closer look at where we're expecting the precipitation today. Same general area that we had the thunderstorms yesterday, still on the wet side in all the areas in southern Nevada and Utah, but possibly a mix of wet and dry along the Sierra front. Minimum relative humidities are still low across Idaho, western Wyoming, northern Nevada, northern Utah, but coming up and quite a bit higher across the south. On Tuesday, the story changes quite a bit. We see a significant push of moisture further northward into the northern half of the Great Basin. We do have high risk issued for all of Idaho, western Wyoming, and northern Nevada. These areas do have higher fire danger right now, and these storms will begin potentially as a mix of wet and dry. So the threat for new large fires is going to be elevated tomorrow with that increase in lightning activity in those areas. So if we take a look at the precip, things quiet down a bit across southern Nevada tomorrow, but thunderstorms expected across central Nevada, the higher elevations of Utah, getting into northern Utah, southeast Idaho, western Wyoming, and then just some isolated to widely scattered thunderstorms over the central Idaho mountains, which will be like on the dry side for that increased potential for new large fires. Minimum RHs do come up tomorrow, especially over Utah and Nevada, still staying somewhat low over Idaho and western Wyoming. On Wednesday, the moisture sticks around. In fact, it's going to be with us through the remainder of the work week. for scattered showers and thunderstorms. So again, those areas on Wednesday, northern and central Utah, portions of central Nevada, and much of Idaho, especially the central Idaho mountains and western Wyoming, where those storms will begin to moisten up there. Some drier areas, however, over southwest Idaho, northwest Nevada, those areas won't see too much thunderstorm activity even into Wednesday. And the maximum temperatures here, a little bit lower than what we've seen with the increased cloud cover and moisture, highs in the low 90s for many of the northern valleys on Wednesday. The 3-day precip totals are shown here. Pretty high precip amounts for the next 3 days, especially in some areas, southern Nevada, the higher elevations of Utah, even up into northern Utah, and western Wyoming should get a fair amount of precipitation over the next few days as well. So definitely in some areas a trend of decreasing fire activity, while other areas which don't see as much precipitation could just see an increase in new initial attack and potentially large fires. On Thursday, the moisture sticks around for another day of isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. And more of the same on Friday as well. The moisture just keeps moving up from the southwest into the Great Basin. We're in a pretty good trend here of getting that moisture up. So more showers and thunderstorms on Friday and even on Saturday. So a good 5 to 7 days worth of thunderstorms every day across much of the Great Basin, and we'll definitely see decreasing fire potential through the period. So by Saturday, many of the PSAs are green, even up into Idaho, with some yellow on the northern and western fringes. The trend continues into Sunday with moisture hanging around, more showers and thunderstorms through the weekend. 7-day totals are shown here. This is a pretty impressive forecast for the last week of July into the first of August. Very high precipitation totals. In purple here we have over 1 inch to 2 inches of precipitation expected over the northern Utah mountains and even up into western Wyoming. That will definitely knock down fire danger pretty quickly for many of these areas across the eastern half of the geographic area, even eastern Nevada and the east central Idaho mountains. So we do still have some drier areas as we go into early next week. Northwest Nevada and western Idaho. The extended forecast kind of shaves off a lot of the exceptionally hot temperatures across the west, and then we'd still expect to see a signal for above normal precipitation, this time with the bullseye over southern Idaho. This concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.